Thoughts in a Glass podcast. I'm LaToya.
And I'm Kendra.
And this is a weekly podcast where we share our unfiltered thoughts on a variety of topics.
So sit back, relax, grab your favorite drink, and join us on a conversation of real, raw, and ridiculously funny commentary.
Period. Every week we do a drink of the night. Kendra, what's the drink tonight?
Y'all seen the clips. You've seen the things. We on vacation. We on vacation on a budget though, because ain't nobody got time for a drink package with a 3-day cruise. I'm not paying. I ain't got the $5, y'all. I ain't got the $5. So we're just going to do a nice Barefoot. This is going to be your pink Moscato. So super good. Y'all know about it. It's been around forever. What more can I say?
Yeah,
call me Jay-Z.
Little Moscato.
A little something. No razzle in the day.
It's ladies' night. You know what I'm saying? This is a ladies' night classic.
And it's pink. Hello.
Yeah. Why are you pouring that up? Mm-hmm. This is March is Women's History Month.
Woo!
And as you guys can see, we have another special guest. We have another episode with a special. And so for Women's History Month, we have some phenomenal women. We have Cynethia, friend of the pod, sister, good girlfriend, chef, business partner, business owner, instructor, mother, veteran, all the things.
And a phenomenal woman.
Wife.
Okay.
And then we have her wife, Toni, friend of the pod, business owner, graphic designer, web designer, educator. What else?
The resume.
Period. So this
welcome
week,
to the podcast.
Yeah, boy.
Calm down. Thank you.
So this with it being Women's History Month, you know what I'm saying? We got the girls out. It's ladies' night. So we're going to get into it a little bit.
Yes, let's. I'm excited. All right, so let's start with just getting to know a little bit about you all. Mm-hmm. We'll start with it's okay.
Let's cheers.
Let's cheers to a positive, good podcast. Okay.
That's nice.
Like a best friend.
Never let you down. You know exactly what to expect.
Know what it is. Show out.
Been there for me every time.
Yeah. So, Cynethia, tell us about yourself. So, these are the things that we want to kind of run down.
Okay.
Start off with Women's History Month. We want to, I believe, we'll correct it in post. This is not what it is.
We'll correct it in post.
This year's Women's History Month is about education.
Women in education.
Education. And I think this is a perfect opportunity because both of you women have your parts in education. I want to start with one of the things that we've talked about you're doing is teaching with Culinary and helping people that are coming from overseas and all of the different things. So can you elaborate on what it is you do, how you even got started in that, and the transition in your life? Because we know that you were a veteran, there are other things that you have had going on. So how did this become the avenue in which you decided to embark on?
Okay, no problem. So yes, I am a culinary instructor. I teach immigrants and refugees how to cook in a professional kitchen so that they can get good jobs, typically union jobs, so that they can have good pay, good benefits, etc. I started my culinary journey about 10 or 15 years ago. Yeah, that's about right.
Give or take.
Right, give or take. So I've always loved cooking.
Okay.
I didn't realize until, I don't know, mid-20s that you can even like make money in the culinary industry, right? Like it was just kind of, well, I don't know, a stupid thought. Like I didn't know that was a thing. And then I was working admin, doing title insurance and real estate stuff, And I literally one day was like, you know what? I'm going to go to culinary school.
Okay.
Right? It happened very much that simple, right? It was really like, I don't like the way they treat me. I'm out of here. And I went to culinary school, did really well, if I do say so myself.
If you ain't gonna pat yourself on the back.
Graduated with honor. Yeah. And then just started going through the ranks, right? So worked at a couple restaurants, did some catering, did some all kinds of things. And one of my first chefs were like, you don't want to cook. Like, he told me just straight up,
this is not your passion.
You don't want to cook.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? Yeah. And I was like, I either want to write, like I would love to be a food writer, food blogger, something like that, or I would really like to teach people, right?
Okay.
Like I would love to be like your sous chef, but I don't really want to like deal with all of this stuff. And he was like, yeah, you should look into that, right? Like stop wasting your time here, go figure something out. And then right when I was kind of figuring out, COVID happened, right? Okay. And then everything just shut down, right? So I was working as an instructing assistant for a big culinary school in DC. Okay. And everything just kind of shut down. And in that process, I just started looking for other jobs and avenues because I was like, I can go back to admin. But if I could figure out a way to instruct, I would be really happy. Yeah. So then that's it. Just the universe just worked out to where now I'm, the chef instructor. STEP program is great, and I love it. It feeds all my heart's desires, and I get to help people and make money, and that's awesome.
Would you ever consider doing private lessons? Like if someone wanted to hire you?
I absolutely do private lessons. Okay. I do private lessons now. So I have I've done couples classes, things like that. I love to teach teenagers and kids just because they're easily malleable, right? Like, and they don't think they know everything, right? They're very scared. Yes. And my passion for teaching culinary is just that it's not just about the food. I truly believe, like, when you teach somebody to cook, you build their confidence. Yeah. You build their self-esteem, right? Like, you really help them see themselves as someone who can do something just by teaching them how to debone a chicken, right? Like it's super simple, but people get really scared in the kitchen. Yeah. One of my clients that I've been teaching, I just taught him how like to roast a chicken and do all this stuff. He was telling me after our class when we were kind of like breaking down and cleaning up or whatever, he was like, yeah, like this helped me because I had a lot of kitchen anxiety. Okay. Right? And he was like, as a kid, and when you think about it, sometimes as a kid, you don't have parents who want you in the kitchen, right? Or who don't have time or space for you to bother them, right? And that can be trauma, it can be triggering. Yes. And as an adult, definitely nowadays, you can DoorDash, you can get your food so easily. So it was great because he reminded me how much I want to go into like culinary therapy and all that stuff. Yeah. So that's the ultimate goal, would be like a culinary therapist of some type. Okay. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. You have been teaching and working with kids in that capacity, but Toni, you work with kids in a different capacity.
Different.
Yeah. Talk us through that. Like, how did you get to, what was your journey to like education, teaching, and doing what you do with kids?
Okay. I started at 16
as
a daycare, and I was an aide for a long time. And then I moved from that job because I was tired. I got burned out. I didn't take a break for like 7 years, but I was also young. Yeah. Then I went to a private daycare, which I stayed for about 5 years, and then I was a teacher. I was the lead teacher. Then I went into CAP, which is children with autism, in preschool, which I fell in love with because they're so sweet. They're so sweet and genius. And now a para at MCPS.
Okay, so explain to us what a para is for our viewing audience that may not know.
It can range from a lot of things depending on what you signed up to be. It could be a gen ed para, it could be a one-on-one para, but
so general aid,
general education.
Okay,
general education, and then there's special education, and then there's one-on-ones where they follow you they follow one specific kid through, I think, all of their, like even through like 12th grade, all the way.
Okay.
So they take them all the way. We have one of those in our school.
And that's in addition to their instruction from their regular teacher, they have an aide.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then, like, what do you do for them?
So I have one of my students has autism, and he has an IEP, but he doesn't have a one-on-one yet. So I just try to get him to slowly
acclimate
him into the building.
Okay.
Because sometimes it's like opposite from Gen Ed child. A Gen Ed child will be small when they come into a room because they don't know necessarily what they're allowed to touch. Same way with autism child, but they'll try to touch everything.
Yeah.
Until you give some
guidelines.
some guidelines and say, okay, this is what we do. We sit down, we do our work, then we play, then we do this. But I have another student, and he is that inclusion. But I just sit with him because he has a, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but he has like a low IQ, so he shouldn't even be in our school. He's on. They tell me that he's like 2-year-old in the brain, so I have to actually sit with him.
Okay.
And he plays, but he doesn't do any of the instruction. His teacher will give him a piece of the paper, and we'll try to
kind of do stuff on.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's about it. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so your work with children with autism, so special needs children, or just being an educator in general, was the driving force that birthed the idea for your business.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
You can say it like that.
Okay.
Yes. Because when I was younger, I used to like to collect stickers, and they only had those big-headed white kids with the big white eyes, the big eyes with the blonde hair.
Oh, like the Precious Kids.
Yeah, and they never or they had dogs.
Yeah,
but they ain't had no black kids.
Yeah,
yes.
So I was like, this little girl, black little girl, at my daycare was drawn, and she drew a black little girl, and I was like, I've never seen that before, because usually when black kids draw, they draw white people.
Yes.
If you've noticed.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, man. Let me take that inspiration, and I'm gonna go ahead. And so I made stickers, and I passed them out to the kids, and they loved them. And it was crazy because my co-teacher, because we're teachers together, she was like, this little girl named Kaylee, little white girl, cutest little thing. She sees me in the hall, Miss Toni, real loud, and she said that she had little Barbies, and she had the puffball one, the sticker, and she was playing with her Barbies, and I was like, okay, that was tight.
So it started off as just stickers, and so how did it blossom into the brand that it is now? And I shouldn't do air quotes. The brand,
right. And the name of your business.
Oh, forehead. Yeah, that was because everybody has a forehead, I believe.
Yeah.
So.
Or 3 heads.
Yeah, I mean it's still there. It's still
at least 4.
Right, at least. I mean, even if it's 3, you still got. It's still, you know what I'm saying. So once you're in, you're always in. You know what I mean? It's something like that, and it was just. I think it was just I was trying to pick a name, and I don't know where that. I think maybe I had 4 at first.
Yeah.
And then I added more.
Yeah.
And then I added more. It's more than 4 now.
Yeah. So now you have shirts.
Yeah. Now you have all kinds of merch.
Yes.
And then I was like, okay, they didn't have stickers either. Oh, no, then they didn't have T-shirts. I never seen us rock our T-shirts unless it was somebody like Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Like, just regular, chilling, you know? And so I made it into a mug first, and then a T-shirt, and now it's tote bags, backpacks.
And you also have a coloring book. Is that still out, or it's in production?
It's in production.
Okay. So that's coming soon. Yes. Okay, so with all of that, so you have this business going on, but Cynethia, you also have a lot going on. How do you guys navigate that? Like, both of y'all working full time, both of y'all have businesses. How do you guys navigate that
in your relationship? How does that? How does it still work?
Yeah.
That's it. Okay.
I'm just. Or how does it?
How does it work?
Right. And each facets of working.
Yeah. So we are currently trying to figure us out because we obviously have two very different businesses, right? But at the core, it's still kind of like the same, right?
Yeah.
Love, confidence, whatever, like whatever, teaching, blah blah blah. What we've realized probably too early in our relationship, or what we decided too early in our relationship, was that we didn't work well together.
Okay.
So we do two separate things.
Okay.
But I think we're getting to the point where it's not as beneficial, and we're trying to figure out, because we can see, like, for instance, she's obviously very creative, right?
Yes.
And though I'm creative, I'm not creative in the same way.
Right.
So, like, something like simple, like, business cards, right? Like, I'll need business cards, and it doesn't make sense anymore to go and get them made when I'm literally laying with the person who can make the best business card. You know what I mean? Like, who knows it?
Right.
But, so, we have been trying to figure out how we can kind of collaborate or figure things out in a way that works for us. And one thing that I think we've been doing that's pretty good is just having like set business meetings where it's just like, okay, your business today, because you don't like paperwork, right? So like she'll have great ideas or great things, and like, for instance, the coloring book, right? And it's like, oh, but I gotta fill out this form, and it'll never happen, right? And meanwhile, I'm over here chopping it up, right? And I'm like, I thought you had a coloring book coming out. And she's like, yeah, there was a form.
All stop.
And it stopped me in my truck.
Right. You know what I mean? Or like me, like, oh, you need to upload to Instagram, and I'm looking like, that's not, I ain't never gonna do that. You know what I mean? Like, that's never gonna happen.
3 times a day.
Every meal. What are you doing? Where's the camera? Where's the camera? It's never gonna happen. So we've been like adding like just straight up business meetings where it's like, okay, we're just gonna treat each other like business partner, client, whatever.
When you walk through this door, wife is off.
Right.
Yeah.
We're just gonna
client partners.
What do we need to do?
Yes.
And I feel like it's been helpful.
Okay.
Like, we need to do it probably more often.
Definitely.
But when we do it, it's always like, oh, thank God. Like, because sometimes you just forget how awesome the person standing beside you is sometimes.
Because Toni, in addition to the Foreheads brand, you also do graphic design.
Yes.
And web desiging. Am I getting it right?
Just graphic design.
And
Content
social media marketing,
Yes.
content creation.
Yes.
I'm not getting it right.
Yeah,
Can
you're in the
we
moment.
say Renaissance?
Right.
Yeah. She does everything.
They really,
It's crazy.
between the two of them.
Between that two of them, you can get it all done.
You can get it all done.
You can eat.
And she can market it down.
Yeah.
You get your wig split.
What
Listen, get your forms filled out. Get your social media together.
God.
Sew you an outfit if I
Right.
try.
So, have you guys ever thought about what merging the two would look like, or is there maybe a concept of, if we put both of our talents together, what does that look like?
I've told her I've seen it.
Yeah, she's dreamt it.
But I don't know.
Like
Like,
how to
it's
get
like
there.
how to
know
get
what
there.
it- yeah,
Like
I don't know.
Yeah.
That unknown step of
Yeah.
the promised land and where we are.
I see the promised land.
I'm trying to figure out.
I don't know how we
who
can-
about to stay.
Yeah. We're gonna park the Red Sea.
And that's
Get the
90%
carriages
of
will
it.
change, right?
No, that's 90% of it. Because we're like,
Because just like you said, you can see the
You see the vision.
but it's just like, well, which parts are we taking? Because we can't take all of them. That's a lot.
Right.
yeah.
But I definitely think, it's something to, maybe like marinate on, because it's hard for one person to do everything, right? And I think it could be even more frustrating when you have somebody that could be a help, but then it's like, because you're not intertwined with this, I'm pulling you in,
Right,
only for a little
right.
So it
bit.
looks like surface.
Yeah, so
surface.
it's like you could take it further, but you're not really, I don't want to say invested, but you know what I mean? Like, you're not really fully a part of the process, so I can only take it so far.
Right. And that's very true. I think for both of us, we've been fully invested in our own, right? And like, I know Toni will fully invest in, right? Like, my commitment issues be like, I don't know if we both can be a business partner. Like, I don't know you like that, right? No,
Right.
known her for 20 years, but I don't know you like that. Right? But
Because
so
like the things fall apart.
I don't want
is.
So she'll see the vision and she'll have like, oh yeah, I can totally see it, and I'll be like,
But do you?
Nah,
Right,
but
do
do
you? Right. So you're right. I think there is a place where we need to, or a place where we can merge and come together. Because like it could be super simple. Like she said it before. Like it could literally be owning a storefront that is part art studio. You know what I mean? Like part culinary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like kitchen. Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that's not complicated.
Yeah.
like that's super easy.
Yeah.
And we have the T-shirts and stuff for like it doesn't have to be super
Right.
outrageous, but I still be like, I don't even know.
Right.
I don't even know if
Right.
that's right, but it does. It
But
makes a lot of
okay,
sense.
so you have a daughter,
Yeah.
and Tony, you've been there since Jayla was how old?
4.
Okay, so y'all came together and worked on, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all raised Jayla together.
Mm-hmm.
So, like,
Very well.
what's the hesitation? Like, you know you can work with her as a partner.
Yes.
Like, y'all did, I would
The
say,
biggest problem.
one of the
You work on-
hardest
it's a-
things
you
is
work
to,
on that
like,
for those-
raise a child.
Yes.
and the honest answer is I was still in charge of Jayla,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And she was a partner, but it was
When
mine.
the hammer came down, I was the one that was holding it.
Good and bad. I'm in charge. So there is a fear that if we did something and we had to be 50-50, that I'm like, I got
relinquishness.
You can only.
Yes.
I don't want to.
Yes.
Nah, because I don't like that one. So you need to move her over there. You know what I mean? And that's
Right.
not. I know that's not how a
It works.
partnership works.
Yes.
Yeah. So if we're totally
Okay.
100% honest.
And I think
I appreciate the transparency.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
see, this is what happens
And-
when people be working on shit.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Everybody else is
gross.
like, well, what happens is, they
Yeah,
just
no.
be so involved,
No, we're
and
very
I don't
self-aware.
want to do that to them. When it really is, I wish with my shit.
I know, like, the issue is with me. I'm not safe enough to relinquish control,
Yeah.
and that has nothing to do with the external factors. I just haven't gotten to a place where I can relinquish control.
Yeah.
And that's fair. You know what I mean? And it's okay. I mean, I don't think you stay in that, but I
Right.
think to understand that that's where you are, it's like, okay, you
Right.
gotta respect it. Like, that's just where I'm at.
Yeah. So that's it. I mean, that's truly it. And once I can conquer that, or just ignore it and move on. You know what I mean? Like, and just let her know, and then we'll just do it with me being like, I need the control, right? It'll happen, and I feel like it'll blossom and it'll be great and it'll be whatever it's supposed to be.
What do you think, if anything, your hesitation is? Like, personally.
I don't have any hesitation. I'm waiting.
Really?
Patiently waiting for her to get her shit together.
I saw her doing teaching people cooking when she was in culinary school. I've been waiting for her
To turn the page.
to teach somebody to cook for about 15 years now.
Wow.
So I'm waiting.
That's a blessing to have a partner that's
Patient. Hello? That is because there are people that number one, that's okay, you're not being held, you're not holding yourself accountable, you're not making the right progress, you're not so then that also can cause you to go back into your shell, like, why would I even do this with this person,
Right.
if all it's going to be is judgment?
Yeah. No, that's
So-
fair. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true.
That is awesome. So are you guys like in therapy? Are you guys doing anything externally? Externally to help on the relationship front. So outside of the business, how is it like now with you all, your daughter's gone, empty nesters, you're having these different things. Life is a little different. I know for me, now I want to travel more. Now I want to do these things. So you aren't the same people that you were 20 years ago when you met, right? So how have you been able to stand the test of time and still not even just love each other, but it seems as if you guys like each other. So,
Right. Just a little bit.
So how does that still through all of the things?
Yeah. So what helps is that we do like each other, right? And we were friends for a while before we became anything more, which is very interesting because if you talk to people, some people thought we were already like dating or like, oh, like it's weird. Like some people are like, oh no, they're like sisters, right? And then other people were like, no, they're dating. And we were like just best friends for a long time.
Tony said sisters.
Right. Sister wives. was that we took a short break to figure out, like, really short, where we both were, I was more or less like, I quit, I give up, like, this isn't working. And I think that once I was able to make the decision, right, like, she is my person, I feel like we've been ever since. Because I think I always, again, commitment stuff, I've always had one foot in, one foot out, right?
Okay.
Or just for my own, like, protection, right?
Yes,
like,
yes.
I know you love me. I know you're super patient. You've taken care of me and my daughter. Like, you've done all this good stuff, but also I ain't sure.
Right.
Right? And
because I don't really know now.
Because I don't really know now, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Right? Because she showed me nothing but.
Right.
But then when I was like, okay, I need to back up, take a step, right? And it wasn't until she stopped trying to force it to happen that I was like,
oh, wait, I done fucked up.
or not even that, but just like, yeah, okay, I choose you.
Right.
Because before, just in my own life, I feel like I never had a choice.
Okay.
Right? Like, it would just be the guy who just was always around, right? Like, the nice boy who was, like, carrying my books, or the guy who was like, hey, I like you, and then be like, all right, cool, that's fine, right? And then poor Tony is like, hey, I like you, and I'm like, all right, come on, that's fine. You know what I mean? And then it got to a point where it was like, do I like you?
Right. Let me take a step back.
Right.
Okay, because I got to choose. I got to choose me.
Lucius. I got to choose me, Lucius. Right. And it really became that. So once I was able to take a step back and decide, I feel, and I could be wrong, but I feel like ever since then, I've changed, right? It was like, no, because this is my decision. Because before, it just felt like it was forced because it worked, right? We're best friends. We gotta be
it
together.
was comfortable.
It's comfortable.
It was comfortable.
You fall into something,
Yeah.
and then you just one day wake up and realize I'm in something.
Yeah.
And so taking that step back to say, no, I chose something.
Yeah.
It does give you a different lease on how you present
Because
yourself
then
to
I
that
can
person.
tap in,
Yes.
right? Like, now that I've chose it, I can do the work. Now I can do all of this because I don't mind doing it, right?
Yeah.
And it can be easeful while I'm working,
Yes.
right? Like, and we can do that. So we're not in therapy per se.
No,
But
we use
I
So
am
you do what now?
we use pair.
paired.
so
But
it's
we
an
not giving no money. That
Okay.
We chill.
no free
Advertisement. Yeah.
Come on with the money.
But okay, what I do want to say though is, even though y'all not in therapy, I do think that therapy is helpful. But I think when you are self-aware, a lot of times you can therapize yourself, and I'm not saying that for people to be like, oh, I don't gotta go to therapy, I can therapize myself.
Right.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying when you're self-aware enough to say, I'm having this issue. Let me try to find the tools and different things that I can do to work on this issue so that I can be better in the relationship. That in itself is what therapy is. So if you do that by way of, reading up on it, doing your research, journaling, assessing yourself, constantly going back and saying, okay, am I still being selfish? Am I still doing this? Am I still doing that? That is basically what therapy is, just with a licensed professional who can kind of guide you through that process. And so even though y'all may not be in couples therapy, I think you're still doing therapeutic work. But then also, I know you've been in your own personal therapy, so that probably gives you the tools to be able to do that relationship work, right?
Yes. Before and during the breakup, we were both in therapy, and that did help. But I've always been a very self-aware, therapized.
Right.
But like I said, I'm into culinary therapy, so I'm always reading. I'm always figuring out findings. Yeah. So, no actual, but actual.
What would you say for you, Toni? What things do you feel like you've had to work on to be in this relationship?
My anxiety.
Anxiety
It's a bitch.
thing.
It do. But what else?
She sneak up on your back and you can't shake it.
Yeah, she's like, get off me, anxiety. Get off me. Sharkeisha.
Sharkeisha. He needs some milk.
God damn, anxiety.
Sharing with just one sibling. And it was quiet.
Sorry.
compromise a little bit on, because I was kind of raised independent, and you were raised to take care of your siblings. So I had to figure that. I had to navigate that. I don't know. Let's see. I mean, those things.
So, okay, you said anxiety, right? I can imagine, or you tell me, how did, if you feel comfortable sharing, how did anxiety manifest in a relationship where somebody was feeling like one foot in, one foot out? And I'm asking that question because I can imagine or only presume that if you already struggling with anxiety and then this person is not really sure, that probably either heightens it or triggers it, or but for you, I don't want to speak for you, so like, did it trigger it, or how did it manifest? Like, did you ever feel like, were you ever anxious about, does she want to be here because she is feeling like in and out?
Yes, but it wasn't like, unless she told me to get the fuck, I was going to be there.
My anxiety got me here. And
No,
I don't know.
for
He's
real.
like, I don't know what's on the backside.
Yeah,
I'm going to stay with the monster that I know.
Yeah, no, for real. So
That's real though. That's real.
Hers is kind of weird because it was opposites, because we have the same birthday. Her name is one letter off from my mother's name. So like,
So you said it's written in the stars. I know where I'm supposed to be at.
I already know.
Anxiety, you could be here
But
too.
it's
You
funny.
know,
We all
enjoying the party.
Scooch on.
Yeah, we all in here.
This will be the thruple
It's
that
a
I
vibe.
need.
No, but so I don't think so. When we met, it was a long journey, because I started hanging out with my my made up god sister in Pennsylvania that knew her cousin, that hung out with her cousin at Temple, and I started hanging out with her. One day she was driving us home. She lived in Baltimore, Courtney. And she dropped me off at my house. We were outside, and I was like, dang, didn't you have to drop your card off to your cousin? It was her birthday. She was like, yeah. And so I was like, nah, just go ahead. I was right here. I could have got out, got in my house, been asleep.
The Lord said, get up in that car.
So we pull up, and when I tell you, it was 10 minutes down the street from my house. It was wild. And so we get in there, and she opens the door, pays me no attention.
No mind.
Now, mind you, that's not a normal thing. Not saying that I get attention, but
speak your truth.
but you know,
Don't hold back and speak your truth to these people. If you gonna tell you the shit, just say it, baby. You don't got to hide it.
Stupid.
Tony said, I wasn't used to it.
I know who I am. What's wrong with you? Okay.
You ain't paid.
Wait a
You
minute.
ain't even say hi.
Like,
You ain't see.
No, for real. Like, she opened the door and said, "Hey, Courtney," and then walked in, and it was done. So she had on pajama pants, a sweatshirt inside out. Never seen no shit like that before. So I was like, interesting. And then other stuff happened while we was at the house, and then we left. I got her number. Then we went the next day.
Okay,
Why you get her number?
You can't
Because
no.
it wasn't. So I wasn't gay then.
Oh,
Okay, wait.
You see what I'm saying? Okay.
So hold on. Now you done hop, skipped, and jumped. Okay.
This is what I'm saying.
This is what happened.
Okay, so I'm gonna preset this statement with, okay, I just started to get to know Toni, right?
Yeah.
So first I was getting ready to bust you out and be like, now this whole trip, you ain't doing this damn quiet. So I'm trying to understand what's going on. Do we need to cut, and get you to shake it up? Okay, cool. Now you into the mix. But now I'm like, now I'm thinking to myself, what you mean you wasn't gay then?
Yeah.
So-
I was 18 turning 19.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let's backtrack some. Let's. So are you? And I'm going to use the terms that I just be hearing.
Yeah, go ahead.
I
Please.
just be wanting to opportunity. So I've heard like on the they are platinum level gay.
Okay.
They came out of. They never been through the
right.
They had a C-section. They've been through it and seen it. Don't know nothing about it. Then there's I'm just never been with
a woman.
Yeah. And then you have I didn't like it. So like what range would you have, like how did
especially what you're saying, like I wasn't gay then, which makes us assume that you were straight then. So I don't know. You said it.
I was trying to talk about she ain't never. I mean, she was straight when she came through the door. Let's just say that.
There she goes. No, so I was straight. I was gay. Masculine straight.
You was in the closet.
I was gay, masculine straight. Yeah.
Okay.
I had a boyfriend for like 2 years. I've had sex with men.
Okay.
You hear the conversations and you see women always, there be some women that's they just on it.
Yeah.
And they just love it. And I just was trying to find what it was.
What's the thing?
What the thing it is about them men.
Yeah.
And I could,
let me see.
it can never, I just didn't, I didn't get
You didn't get the hype.
I didn't get the hype.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah, I did not get the hype.
So when
And
she came to the house, her and my cousin, to drop off the birthday card.
So this is also your birthday.
Right. We had no idea.
Because her cousin said, it was like Monday or something. And I was like, mine was the 21st, which was Monday.
Right.
So there's no connect.
Right.
No
connect.
As you know, if you think about me, you're like, that tracks.
Right.
That track.
So yes, Toni was so when we first started, like I said, we were friends. When we first started, she was very, very straight. She had a boyfriend that she was very serious about. And we were really into church. So that's how she got my number. Because my cousin said, oh, that's right, you're looking for a church down here. My cousin goes to church, right? Like, so you should just call her and see, you know what I mean? Like, so she calls and she's like, yeah, are you going to Bible? Can I come to Bible study with you? And you know, when you on your early Christian Jesus,
that's the first thing you're going to do.
You like, yes, of course I'll bring a heathen with me to Bible.
I'm going to convert you to the
let's
side.
go. And that's where we, connected.
I call her and I had her name wrong.
Right.
It's Cynethia. You know I was calling for you.
No, she said something like, is there Sequanica or and she was just like, and I was like, I think you have the wrong number. And I'm not thinking she was trying to get to me. I genuinely didn't think. I was just like, oh, somebody got the wrong number because they didn't say my name at all. And it was not a number I knew.
Or it was maybe like, you fishing. And I don't want to. If you don't know who you looking for, I ain't giving it to you. You just see my name on something and don't know how to pronounce it.
Right. So then catch me slipping at A.
Right. So eventually she called back and we connected. And then maybe like a week later, we found out we had the same birthday. And I thought she was lying.
She thought I was lying. I had to get my ID.
And I thought her name was something else. Yeah.
I had to climb some walls.
And then I thought her name was something else, and she was lying because her name is Toni. And I was like, it must be like Antoinette. Like, you know, like that has to be a nickname. Right. There's no way your parents named you Toni.
Nope, they did.
And she was like, no, look, here goes my ID. And I was like, oh, okay.
I gotta get my paperwork out.
You talking about commitment. My mom.
She said she had commitment.
I need the information
in all my things. Yeah. So that's how it works out. And I think to answer your original question about her anxiety, I think that I know we all over. I think it showed up in ways that were like, in more practical ways, right? That were just like, bruh, like this is not that, right? Like you're making up this whole story. This is not that. Like we took our daughter on a trip and she thought, I was talking to some guy on the beach and she assumed it was my ex, like just out of nowhere. She was like, oh, I thought that was your ex. We're in Florida, right? From Maryland. That does not track. Like that doesn't but it ruined her whole day, right? Because she's like in the car, like having a panic attack, right? Or having an anxiety attack thinking like, this nigga done came up here to talk to her. You know what I mean? And I'm like, what is wrong with you? She's like, I thought it was your ex. From where? Like, how? You know, like, so it was like very, but I'm sure, like you said, it was triggered by me being like,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
So yeah,
very interesting. I kind of want to get back more into the story about how y'all met.
okay, let's go. Yeah,
but I feel like I don't want to like. I don't know.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
That's the thing. So if you,
I don't want y'all to say any. I don't want to prompt you into talking about anything that you're uncomfortable talking about. Is where I feel hesitant. Okay.
We'll talk.
Okay.
Or we won't. Like,
or you just say,
I don't want to talk about that.
Okay, and we'll respect it.
Yeah.
So all right. So
you listen. You see the door open, and your mind goes,
I know.
Wow.
She was on me.
no, but she's straight at this time. My question that I want to ask is,
she had white socks on.
I mean, like, you remember
Straight
everything.
That's what I just said. The door open, and she said,
wow. and so what I'm trying to grasp is feeling or thinking that you're straight at this time, but then you see this girl. Is there a connection of I'm attracted to her, or is it just I want to be her friend?
Monday, and my birthday is on the 21st. I called my cousin because she dated her baby daddy.
It's a very weird.
Before,
Your cousin dated Cynethia's baby daddy.
Yeah.
Yes.
wow. Okay.
In high school.
In
Before
high
I
school.
dated her.
Oh.
And she told me about Jeff's baby mother. And you know, I should have known I was getting in.
Yeah, you might have.
Because I called her and I was like, why didn't you tell me she was pretty? Like, why would I say some shit like that?
Why would prettiness even makes it come out? Yeah.
Yeah. Why do somebody need to like if I'm talking to you about a girl
But
I
you know
know?
what's so funny?
I don't know.
This is the thing, and I think that when we have these conversations about like the choices of being gay or being straight, right? When it's not a choice, it's just an automatic thing for you. Right?
I totally
so you see
agree.
a girl, like if I see a guy and I'm like, oh, he is so cute. That's not anybody teaching me that this is what cute is.
Yep.
It's
That's
just
not real. Yeah.
that makes
what it
sense.
is.
It's a natural feeling.
It's a
That's how
natural
you
thing.
feel.
That makes sense to me. So
I say this,
I
and
think
I've
that
said this
you-
on this podcast. I wish it was a choice.
I wish it was a choice.
I do too. Because I wouldn't choose guys.
right,
But
no,
I see them and I be like,
right,
You know what I mean?
right. First thing that goes is eyes and days.
Now listen.
What's going on?
Now listen, I do have in my brain, I have a library of men, of sculptures, but it's only waist up. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
David Banner's in there.
Okay.
With the
When I tell you,
see
But
what I'm saying?
I feel like that for you is the
Method
same
man
thing as
with
like
the eye.
women
Yes.
for me.
Yeah.
It's an appreciation of the beauty.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
there are women that I be like, she fine as fuck.
right.
But it's not a
not a
sexual
natural
attraction.
thing. Right, yeah.
It is just the beauty. I can't deny it, even though
Right,
I'm
right,
not attracted
right,
to you in
right,
a sexual
right,
way.
right.
There's been times where I forgot we went to a party, a raise party, and his brother-in-law
My lord.
was chocolate, and he was talking to somebody else,
right.
and I found myself like I had to go like, this is
You don't want to stand. I don't want you to.
I don't want nobody else to know I was there, but I'm like,
but I want to just look at you
just
so
look.
I can
Then
understand.
I had to go find Cynethia because I was like, she got to see this. Let me make sure I'm not tripping.
I'm not right.
He was pretty.
Right.
Oh,
What
he
I got going
was good. Yeah,
He was gorgeous,
yeah.
and I was like, oh, okay. But that's it. Like, there's
Yeah.
no, like, I don't get no tinglies. I don't get no. It's just, oh, he's very attractive.
Yeah.
And then it stops there.
But you were in a relationship for
Yes.
a while, trying to find the
Trying
next
to
level.
find.
And then you saw
And
me
it
and was
did
like,
not.
there it goes.
Yes.
Aw, that's so sweet.
That is so
Don't believe that
sweet.
shit. No, they're gonna put going out like, nah.
That is so sweet. So this is actually making me like Toni more.
Right.
So I never dislike Toni, but
Right.
like Cynethia's my sister, so
Right.
it'd be like
Yeah, she was
the
always-
person
whoever
that
I'm
they're
always
dating
right,
is like,
And if I gave her the wrong juice, why you give her the wrong juice?
Why you know what you she like?
You ain't in tune like you say you in tune.
But now I'm like, Cynethia. She's so sweet.
She is.
Oh, so it was love at first sight?
I guess so, yeah. She didn't, but I did.
She was like, "Give me my motherfucking card because it's my birthday. I'm resting the new one by my dad."
Yeah, yeah. No,
so your mindset after that was like, if the only thing I could be to her is a friend, then
no, it wasn't. See, that's the thing. I was still not knowing that I was gay, so it was just I saw her and I was like, "Oh, she's
best friends." Yeah,
and
immediate best friends, which we both should have known, but we didn't.
Yeah,
and I had dated women before, whatever, right? But I was a closeted Christian. Like I was like, I'm in church. Jesus is enough for me. I'll date him. I'll love a man. I'll never.
I won't like
again.
you.
Yeah.
I don't like men no more.
Yeah, that's really how. But just unhappy in the inside, right? Yeah. So during her like awakening and like whatever, it was very hard for me because like I'm like struggling like religion and my own stuff and I'm a mom and I don't know if I'm supposed to do this. Right. But luckily it all came out. But
so is Cynthia the first? Is she the first woman you've dated?
Yes.
And been with? Oh. Dang, that's why you attached to because she unvirginized.
Yeah. Which is part of why I had commitment issues. I was like, go fuck somebody else.
Go experiment with everybody else.
But why though? Because what you felt like she would go with somebody else and be like, oh, I like them better than you?
No, I didn't believe that.
If I'm a ring of oil, I'm gonna ring them up.
You'll never find it. But no, I think it was just my own insecurities, right? Like my own self-worth that wasn't up to par, and I just felt like you can do better somewhere else, right? And now I know that that's untrue.
As do better in the sense of just in general, or now I shouldn't be the one that you experience this for the first time with.
No, I didn't mind being the first. I think I think there was that fear that like, if very few people stay with the person who takes their virginity, right? No matter what, right? So I think it was just kind of like, you know what I mean? I think it was just kind of like, dog, I'm not going to be your forever person, right? But it's crazy because me and her grew up very differly, where her mother loved her daddy, right? Like just loved him. They would probably still love him. She on the glory, right? Probably still like, let me just check on the nigga, right? Ever so often, right? I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't either.
And I had the opposite, where my mother, right, like were with,
men loved your mom.
Men loved my mother.
Yeah.
And she would just be like, very similar to me, like, all right, cool. Right? Like, cool. Right? Like, you're comfortable. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
So I think just this idea of somebody falling for me and like being head over heels with me, and me also making the decision to do that too, was just, this bitch tripping. Like, she gonna smell somebody else, right, and be under them. She just hasn't found the right person yet. And because of her anxiety, she, and like ADHD or whatever, she hyper fixates on things. So there was another part of me that was like,
I'm just a hyper fixation.
I'm just what she's hyper. Yeah. So as soon as she wakes up, right, as soon as she finds something else, some other broad, some other whatever, that'll be who she's with.
About her business.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. And then eventually, and I think for me, some of it was just like her like when we talked about it, and I was like honest, and she was just like, but we had the same birthday, and your name is Cynethia, my mom's name is Cynthia, and we both have this mark right here, and you know what I mean, like, and it was like all these reasons that were like not at all anything that I had ever considered, thought about, whatever. It was like in her brain, it was like, oh no, I have all this proof.
Right.
like
it wasn't how.
Yeah, like
how
this doesn't that doesn't make sense, right?
So, so I used to buy jerseys that had the number 21 on them because that's my birthday, And so, like, there's a lot of
like breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
And you followed them.
And I sure did.
And
I followed them all the way to fucking Pennsylvania.
And they came back, right. And they said, I'm at home, but I'm going to still ride with you.
Yeah.
To find you.
Yeah.
And you got to know that get it together.
Yeah.
Because it seems like she's doing the work. She did the work.
Yeah, she did. I'm very grateful.
She did the work to be chosen.
Yeah, she did. And I remember the day that I was like, fuck, I like her. Right? Like, I remember it very profoundly. I guess it wasn't the first day I met you. Unfortunately.
But it doesn't matter because y'all got there.
Y'all got there and stayed there. You up and stuck like Cardi B said.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that for y'all.
Yeah, thank you.
I love that for y'all.
Yeah, we're trying.
What do y'all? I feel like I've asked all the questions I wanted to ask. I don't know where to take it from here, but I want to give you an opportunity to talk about something that maybe we didn't talk about.
That you want the people to know. Just
Yeah.
about relationships, about how to be successful in relationships.
Or anything. It doesn't have to be that.
Or, how to follow the dream that wasn't maybe the path that people wanted you to take. Like, what are some other life lessons that you may be able to, because you all are very much so self-aware. We've had amazing conversations throughout this trip. So
yeah,
if you have anything else that you may want to share.
I don't know. I think if I had to give something, I think what I would tell people is to, like, be honest and don't be afraid of that, right? Whatever that is, just be honest. And I think one thing that our relationship has taught me is, like, fuck convention, fuck what society says is supposed to be, how it works, whatever. Figure out what works for you, and you can only do that by being super honest, right? Like, so if, I don't know, like, Tony's likes to clean up more than I like to clean up, right? So, like, instead of, like, being mad because I don't like to clean up or I'm messier, right? Like, we just adopted, like, okay, that's your chore. I'll do the other one. You know what I mean? Like, because, but somebody else might say, well, she's doing all the housework. You know what I mean? It's like, well, if it ain't broke, like, why do we have to do whatever? You know what I mean? Like, let's just figure out what works for you.
Within your home.
Yeah. Or, like, fuck gender roles, figure out what works for your relationship and then do that. Or be honest with what you want and then do that. And I think so often we're in relationships and we're not honest, and then we don't understand why we're mad at that person. Or like resentful, mad, angry. And we haven't said, you know what? I don't really want to be here. Or I want to be here, but I want to add a person. Or I don't like us going to your mama's house every week. Like, whatever it is, you have to be honest and then figure out how to work that. And you might not always win, but if you're honest, at least my partner knows.
At least we can start to have a conversation. And maybe it might be compromise or whatever, but we can't even have the conversation unless
if I'm not honest.
My theory about that, and we've said this before in this podcast, I think the reason why people are not honest is because they don't want to be. I'll share with you.
That's all I need.
I think the reason why people are not honest is because they are not happy with themselves. Like they whatever that thing is, they don't want to admit it to themselves, or they don't want to be held accountable.
Right.
So
I agree. Once
you say that thing, once you say that real truth, that honest thing, you don't want to be held accountable for whatever that is. And I just think those are the main two reasons why people aren't honest.
I agree.
So I think it's great advice. I feel like people are probably not gonna take it because they don't want to be. They don't want to be held accountable.
Be held accountable, or realize that you might lose that person. And that's a hard. That's a hard. Like, if you've been with someone for, I don't even think it. It doesn't even. You can't even put an amount of time on it. If you've been through enough heartbreak, sometimes that relationship is just the last one you're gonna be able to take. And to be able to be the person that says, I don't think this works, then there's no one else to blame but yourself because you're. I let it go.
Yeah.
You know, and that can be a hard step to take.
Right. But I also feel like you don't necessarily have to let it go if you're honest about why you're unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like if Toni and I are together and I recognize that I'm unhappy about this aspect of our lives, right? Like maybe we don't make enough money. We make enough money, but maybe we don't, right? Like, and I'm just like, you know what? I want to be with somebody that makes more money, right? Maybe I don't leave Toni because of that, right? Like maybe I can only find my happiness once I admit that to her, to me, to whoever, right? So I don't think that all the times when you have realizations, you have to throw the relationship away.
Yeah.
I think sometimes you can work through it.
You can work through it.
But you have to be honest.
Yeah. The issue
to get
is
to the other
you
part.
can always be honest, but if the other person says, well, I don't want to do that.
Right.
Now you're sitting in your honesty of being unhappy.
Right. But then,
So
now, but that's what I'm saying.
So now you're just going to be unhappy and honest about it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to do that either. Like, I wanted to be honest.
Right.
And I wanted you to make some changes because I want to be here.
Right.
If the other person's like, well, that's cute, but I don't want that. It's like now you have to make the decision on, do I just settle? And then in that relationship, now you've settled. And so now when there's another thing that you want, well, you've settled once. Why wouldn't you settle again? And then you go through a pattern of settling in everything that you want from this relationship. And then here comes, I resent you.
Right. But this is what I'm saying. You wouldn't have to settle each and every time if you're honest each and every time. And if you make a decision to stay with them, right?
Yeah. You're just going to be unhappy.
Then you're going to, right. But at least I go, yup, I'm unhappy because of this, right? Like, and
I'm making a conscious decision.
I'm making a conscious decision
to
because
be unhappy.
then I can wake up every morning and go, yup, this is what I've decided, right? Like, this is what I've decided. But if you haven't made the decision, right? Like, you're just waking up like, God, fuck, right?
Yeah.
This is a dumb idea, right? But like, once you make and I guarantee you, and I think society tells us like, well, it has to be perfect to work, or it has to be, you know what I mean? Like, only a minimal amount of work. But like, once you make a choice, like, okay, this is the person I'm going to be with, it's not going to be perfect, right? Like, we're cute, but we ain't perfect, right? Like, there's shit that's like not perfect, that's not great, you know what I mean? Like, that's irritating, that's hurtful, that's whatever. But because we're honest to a fault, right? And we're both like, yeah, I don't fuck with that, I don't like that, and it's like, yeah. And that's the answer. I'm sorry that you don't like it.
It's hard for me to fully agree because with your honesty, both of you still are willing to do work for that other
Sometimes.
person.
I haven't signed on to this business idea.
Well, right. But I'm talking, well, that's the business part of it. But if I think that if your wife says to you, hey, in this aspect, the business part is important to me. I'm willing to be patient on it. Like, you've made it clear, like, I'm not cool.
Yeah.
But if you are talking about my relationship part and she's saying, listen, I really need you to be more accepting. What did you do? I can't do that right now, so we're going to take a break. To give yourself the opportunity to get there. So sometimes a break, even with that break, that the other side of that break is an unknown.
That's
so
fair.
For you, it's like, I can go on that break and be cool that this might not be it because you already are kind of one foot in, one foot out. But when Toni's in, for her that is actually in it and wants to be here, and if she was the one to say, well, I really want you to be here, and he was like, I'm just not ready for that. For her to have to say, I'm with somebody that I know that this other shoe may drop. Am I okay with just sitting in this? And the moment that other shoe drops, that resentment of, I should have left when I had the opportunity. And so now the friendship can't stay. The relationship is going to be strained because now I'm always waiting for you to do something. So every time you're like, oh, let's cuddle, I don't want to do that because what if you don't like me tomorrow? I don't want to do this because I was honest with you. You gave me the feedback that you gave me. You were honest with me. But now that feedback that you just gave me puts me even more unwavering water. And so now I can't be. Now I want to be honest, but I'm like, I don't want the results of the honesty.
Right.
Because I'm not going to. Most people want to be honest, when you're honest, is you want to also get the answer you're looking for.
Right, but that's false.
Right, and that's the
That's
hard
not
part.
fair. Yeah, that's not real.
Right, that's the hard part of being honest and not getting what you want.
Yeah,
and I think that's where what I was trying to say in the beginning, like, no. Is that no? If I don't already know the answer, I'm not asking.
Yeah,
because the moment you hurt my feelings, it's going to take me so much longer to come back from a hurt feeling than
you not
what this right. I cannot know and make up a fantasy and just say, you know what, I'm cool with this, I'm cool with this, I'm cool with this. And I could be cool with 15 scenarios because I don't know any of the scenarios. Mm-hmm. The moment you say, well, nah, the scenario is I don't really like you like that. Now, there's no other, there's nothing else, right? And so do I say, but I don't like you, but I want to stay.
But isn't your life better once you know?
No,
I feel like it is.
It's not the now you are faced with two choices.
Yeah.
But those two choices is still like a hurtful thing. I'm going to stay in this relationship with knowing that somebody is never going to give me what I want.
Yep.
I'm going to get out of this relationship with the knowing that I may never find I don't want to be by myself and I may never find anybody.
But you might.
Married.
And I have to mourn the connection,
the
loss of this person.
Right.
Yeah.
But you might.
But your optimism is amazing. The might for people don't be mighting. The world.
I just feel like
the world is
everybody can find somebody.
But the when your world is small, and your day in, your day out is the same people, the same routine, the sameness. When you have a different outlook, right? You see people come in, you see foreign nationals coming in, and all of the things. You have all of this. Like worldliness, your eyes are open to things. You talking to somebody that lives in the DMV, work in the DMV, mama live in the DMV. When you go to your cousin's house, it's up the street because we all live in the damn same community. And so you telling me I met somebody, and all of a sudden we about to break up. Everybody I know, we family. So I'm never going to get. I don't have a passport. I don't have this. I don't have the opportunity. So
you're saying
to
that's
possibly.
Why people...
So I'm gonna stick and stay where I'm at because I don't want to be by myself.
Right, but then that's the honesty, right?
I don't want to be by myself.
Yeah, but
that's
now you're miserable because the thing is, it's like, but now
I know I'm never fully going to be happy.
I'm never going
to
be
happy with somebody.
So now I'm going to be
I won't
cheating.
be fully happy.
Or now I'm going to be resentful every time you walk in the house. I'm like, shit, I don't really want to be here, but I don't got nowhere else to go. Like, that doesn't mean I've now been honest with myself, and now even in that honesty, I'm even more miserable.
Yeah, I hear you.
So I get it.
I hear you.
I get it.
But I also feel like
there are people that are not awake.
Okay,
right.
Those
people are going to be in a space where I don't want to be honest.
Right.
I don't want to be honest.
Yeah.
Because facing that truth is meaning that you at that point there's no way. There's no hiding. There's no masking. I have to now make a decision, and I can't make a conscious decision knowing that it's going to affect the rest of my life, and I might be sad.
I'm pro taking off the mask. I hear you.
Yeah, I am too.
But
very much
I'm
so.
Pro.
There's a lot of people that
that's like.
I see where the both of you are coming from.
Right.
But I probably lean more to like me personally. I try to act that way, like what you like. I am kind of like that. Like I'm just gonna tell you. But I think more people are the way you're saying, and which is why I say that's great advice. But most of us
ain't gonna
no.
Yeah, like most
it's
people
to sum it all up.
Honestly,
no.
That's fair. Okay.
Toni, before we get out of here, do you want to drop a nugget?
Oh no, she said everything great.
Are you sure?
You just going. I'm gonna stand by my leg. I've been doing it. I like it over here. That's what I get it.
Honestly, it's good. Yeah. That's it.
Well, this was another great episode. I'm so glad it was with you. We got to learn so much. I feel like we are connected. The commune is communing.
Hey, it's getting there.
Yes. So, like we always say, make sure you
like, subscribe, hit the notification button, tell a friend to tell a friend, drop down in the comments.
Where can they find you all?
You can find me at Art Evolved on Instagram and foreheads.me on Instagram.
Okay.
And I'm Cynethia Williams on everything.
On everything. All right, look, if y'all trying to get a cooking class, you and your boo thing, you and your mom, y'all want to do a girls thing, whatever, hit them up. You need some cars, you need some everything, you need some renaissance, you need some dancers, you need some whatever. They know somebody, okay? They gonna hook you up. We'll have to make sure that we put all of their information into
we'll drop it in.
Information. Make sure you hit us up. You can use us as a third party. We might ask for a little ching change, to do the connect. Shit. All right.